My knee hurts. I'll take some leave after this is over. Hey guys, it's me, Shell360, and I just got through filming my Cheese in the Trap review, attempted a review. And so I thought I'd do just like a random discussion video. So this is what this is here. So random discussion video. I'm going to talk about Fandom Wars, because I was asked to talk about Fandom Wars. And I'm going to talk about my buying process for buying K-pop. So I'm going to do Fandom Wars first, because that one's really easy. If I understand it correctly, Fandom Wars are where fans of one group either bash the fans of another group, or they bash a group that's not their own as not being as good as their preferred group. My opinion on that is that it's stupid. The idea of something being the best or being the worst is really subjective. It really is. Like, what might be the best to you might be hot garbage to somebody else. Prime example, the new SHINee album that came out, DDD. I liked the last half of that album, and when I did my review for the album, I had a lot of people in the comments that say they either loved the last half or they hated the last half and loved the first half. And these were people who are SHINee fans. It's not like these were like random fans. These were like shawals. And even we were split down the middle about how we felt about this album. So best, that's completely subjective. And what you might see best based on your upbringing, based on your musical preferences, based on your vocal preferences, those kind of things very rarely are quantifiable. Very rarely. I mean, yeah, you could go by MV views, you could go by ticket sales and album sales, but if you really were to use those things as markers of the best, you'd be surprised who would end up as the best. Like, honestly, let's say you're an XOL and you're arguing for EXO being the best because they sell the most albums, but if we wanted to go by MV views, EXO's not nearly as good as Psy. And there's a lot of K-pop fans, excuse me, a lot of international K-pop fans who would say, hell no, EXO's way better than Psy. But I'm just saying, you know, being the best or not being the best, it really depends on who's listening to the music and what they prefer. So to me, Fandom Wars are dumb because they don't result in new fans wanting to be a part of your fandom. Like, I can't even imagine a person who would go to an EXO video and there'd be somebody from a BTS ARMY standpoint saying, oh, this stuff sucks, you need to be an ARMY, and them actually looking at that comment and saying, you're right, I should go ahead and turn this MV off and go watch a BTS MV. That's not going to happen. So what's the point of doing it? Not only that, but like so many of the groups that people are out here like supposedly defending against other fan groups and, you know, insulting groups in the name of their fandom, the actual groups they're talking about are friends. Like, if a Shawwal got in a fight with an Infinite fan, that would be dumb. Because SHINee and Infinite are close, especially Key and Wooyeon. So that's dumb. That's dumb because they're friendly. And you know, a lot of the groups that we think should have a rivalry actually respect each other. At the Mamo Wars this year, Seungri sat in Sehun's lap because he wanted y'all to know there's no beef here. There's no beef here, so there should be no fight. So that's why I say Fandom Wars are dumb. They're unproductive. They don't help anything. If anything, they put a black eye on your beautiful fandom. So, you know, be cool. Try to keep it classy. And just leave that stuff alone. Don't do it. So, now that I've got that out the way, let's talk about my buying process. Because I've done a video about, like, how I shop in terms of, you know, price comparisons. And I'll put a link in the description box below to that video because I did a video about buying off of YouTube. And I gave some tips and pointers there. But this is about like my actual buying process for like what it is I decide to buy. So in the past, not so much right now, but in the past, when I first started buying K-pop, I was buying everything I could get my hands on. Like, if it was a good deal, I was buying it. If it had a lot of pictures in the photo book, I was buying it. If it had the word SHINee written on it, I was buying it. I was buying so much stuff. And now, you know, sitting at over 300, I don't buy that way anymore. And part of the reason I don't buy that way anymore is because I wasted a lot of money doing that. But number two, like, my priorities have shifted. I've refined my opinions of what is needed and what isn't needed, and that means that my priorities for what I choose to buy and what I don't choose to buy have changed as well. So there's kind of three main categories that I buy from now, and they are in this list of priority. Highest priority, first category, ultimate bias / bias group. There is a list of groups that no matter what they release, if it's music, I'm going to get it. So SHINee being absolutely number one. If SHINee releases an album, I'm buying it. If Rain releases an album, I'm buying it. If 2NE1, Sistar, BTS releases an album, I'm buying it. Then there's list number two, wish list. Wish list changes. It goes up and it goes down. Things get added, things get taken away. But wish list is like those items that maybe they came out before I started buying K-pop regularly, so they're older pieces, or they're stuff I'm kind of interested in because I heard something on it, and so I put it kind of like, if I see this at a good price, go ahead and pick it up because it's a great thing to have. You know, new interests, sometimes I'll listen to some new music by a group I've maybe never heard of before, and then I'll go back and I'll listen to their full album on YouTube or something, be like, yeah, that's pretty cool, and then I'll put it on my wish list. But I don't necessarily buy it right out because maybe Ultimate Bias is coming out with an album and I want that first before I get what's on my wish list. But this is kind of the stuff that I buy in between Ultimate Bias items. And then last priority for me is new / affordable, ultra cheap stuff. And the reason that became number three and became my lowest priority is because I made some mistakes in the past of buying stuff that was brand new because it was brand new. Like being hyped up about a song and be like, girl, as soon as that drops, I'm gonna get that album because that is the jam. And then getting the album and the album itself is BS. And I didn't like it. So new is not always my priority, and then cheap's not my priority. Case in point, I bought a Kara album, Full Bloom. I got it off of Amazon for like $4 and some change maybe. And I was so proud of that purchase. I did a whole video about it. And then after I got it and I started listening to it, I'm like, I'm not really fond of this album. I don't want to listen to it all the time. It was cool because back when I used to watch a lot of Freshly Flipped videos, the theme song for his channel was one of the songs on the Full Bloom album. But yeah, I didn't really listen to it that much, and now I'm going to get ready to sell it. So that was a waste of money. Even though it was cheap, it's not something that I'm listening to now, and I wish I could have saved that money because I could have put that money towards something that was very important. So that's kind of mentally what I go through before I start buying things. I really prioritize. And if you're new to buying K-pop, let's say you've never bought a K-pop album before and you just got into K-pop. Let's say you got into K-pop within the last 6 months. That would be a pretty new K-pop fan in my opinion. Got into K-pop within the last 6 months. You finally know all the names of a group. Like, you know, all member names of a group. If I was you and I was about to make my first K-pop purchase, always go for the Ultimate Bias group. And always go for your favorite song from your favorite Ultimate Bias group. Why? Because it's going to make you the happiest. Like, if I didn't own any albums and I was going to buy, starting from scratch, if like my collection disappeared and I was going to buy from scratch, I would always rebuy Amigo. From today, yesterday, and 10 years from now, I would always buy Amigo again. Why? Because Amigo has Replay on it. Amigo has Love Like Oxygen. Amigo has Y Si Fuera Ella. Amigo has In My Room. Amigo has Best Place. It's chock full of the hits. So that's why I would buy Amigo. But, I mean, that's with experience from having owned stuff, and also because that's my Ultimate Bias group, and I know that that album would make me the happiest. It might not be the newest thing, and even the photo book might not be the flashiest, but it's got an amazing song that I love, so I'm gonna get it. Even though actually my favorite SHINee song is Alarm Clock, which is on the Sherlock mini album, so that wouldn't be a bad thing to buy first off too. And also it comes with like all these different member photo books, so it's actually a pretty good deal. But yeah, that is where I would go if I was going to be buying and I didn't have the big collection I had now and I wanted to maximize my happiness. Now, if I wanted to maximize my value for the money, I'd probably still go with Sherlock because you get a lot for that. Like, you get a lot for what you pay for Sherlock. Now, let's say I'm a brand new K-pop fan. I finally narrowed down what I want to buy in terms of like album I want to buy, and I'm ready to start spending money. But I want to be smart about where I'm spending my money. Like I said, I did a video about that. About spending money, about, buying from Kpop Town, Amazon, YouTube, yes, Asia, a lot of places like that. But one thing I will say that's important to consider outside of price is quality of service. And only recently has that become a big deal for me, especially with the recent problems I've had with Yes Asia and K-Town For You. Now, K-Town For You is a website I've had a lot of problems with in the past. Like, I've had missing items, I've had damaged items, I've had shipped orders before. Like, I've had problems with K-Town For You before. But this last problem I had with K-Town For You was a problem that I never anticipated having with them, and that really just put me off them for good. Honestly, like this was it. I ordered BTS's In the Mood for Love. I ordered 2 copies, both the blue and the peach. And I ordered FX's 4 Walls. And I ordered them on the 11th of November, and they didn't arrive until I think the 4th or the 5th of January. Over a month. And I had paid for tracking. But apparently there was a change in the way that tracking is done, even though K-Town For You never sent out a notice saying that this change had occurred. But apparently the change is that if you get the first level of tracking, because when you look at K-Town For You shipping, there's like no tracking, cheaper tracking, a little bit better tracking, EMS. So those are like the levels. I got the one that's like basic tracking. It used to be that if you use that tracking number, you could track it through Korea and through the United States. Now, apparently, you can't do that anymore. It only tracks it through Korea. So K-Town For You is saying if you pay for this basic level of tracking, they'll no longer be responsible once it leaves the Korean Postal Service. Thank goodness my albums actually came in. Like, that's nice that I didn't actually lose out on that deal. But at the same time, there was no notification that this service change had been made. And when I say there was no notification, I say that because Catch Up CD, who I've done a lot of business with over the last year, when they changed their shipping, they sent out a notice to their customers saying that, no, it wasn't even a notice to their customers. It was on their website. When you logged in on their website, they said, normal tracking no longer works. We're going to find a new alternative for tracking to the United States. I think that's what they said. So, yeah, they at least warned their customers. K-Town For You never issued any statements. So, in my video where I first talked about not getting my package from K-Town For You, I had tons of comments of people saying, yeah, my stuff isn't here either. Yeah, my stuff isn't here either. A lot of us, just in the last couple of weeks, have gotten our stuff that we've been waiting for since November. We've just got it the last couple of weeks. So, I mean, even though K-Town For You is one of the best priced websites out there to buy brand new K-pop, especially if you are interested in collecting photo cards, brand new is important. At the same time, if you have to wait a month to get items and they're not even going to guarantee that shipping can be used for your item once it's left a certain place, I mean, that's poor service. That's poor service. So service is important. Same thing with Yes Asia. I ordered SHINee's DXDXD album from Yes Asia, and I got a great price for it. I paid like between $43 and $45, I can't remember exactly. But I got free shipping for it. So all I paid was for the album. And at cdjapan.co.jp, if I had ordered that same CD with them, I would have paid the cost of the CD plus probably another $15 for shipping. But when my album got here, it arrived in a plastic bag. and it was dinged up all along the spine. The photo book was damaged because it had such a hard slam on the corner. And so I've got a brand new album that looks like it's been through hell and back. And it sucks. It really sucks. But again, the price was the lowest, so just going on price alone, I didn't think I was losing. It had a tracking number, and that tracking number actually tracked all the way from China to here. But the way it was shipped wasn't quality, so I lost out on quality because of a lack of service. Whereas CD Japan, yes, I pay more for the shipping, but usually it's because I'm paying for EMS, and then some people pay for FedEx, but it comes wrapped in a box so that you don't have to worry about any of your corners being messed up. I've never had anything come damaged to me from CD Japan before, and they're just super reliable. And if I do EMS with CD Japan, I get things within about 3 to 4 days. Like it goes lightning fast. So that's why I say it's not just about price, it is about service. Because if I pay $45 for something and it comes damaged, it's not worth $45 when it gets here. So in the end, I actually didn't save any money. I actually lost money in the end. So yeah, that's my thinking process for buying K-pop. I hope that this video helps some people with considering some things. I hope my opinions on fandom wars don't make people angry, and if they do, there's nothing to be helped about that, because opinions are subjective, and I can't do things hoping that I'm going to hit your sweet spot when it comes to opinions. I can only be myself. So, thank you guys for watching, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.